The 2012 Tennessee Titans finished their season out in 6-10, and they're drafting 10th overall in the 2013 NFL Draft. Their offseason goal, I believe, is to help out Jake Locker. First of all, I don't think Jake Locker has shown his full potential, obviously, and I think they need to give him at least one more season to see what he's got, so you need to build around him. With that being said, Chris Johnson hasn't really lived up to his huge contract that he's received. The receiving corps has been banged up and whatnot, so I think the Tennessee Titans need to look into some healthy players on the offensive side of the ball and give some weapons to Jake Locker. Now, for free agency, we're about 5 or 6 days underway here, and let's show you guys who the Titans have brought in and who has made their departure. They brought in Andy Levitre, offensive guard of the Buffalo Bills, to a 5-year, $39 million deal. He is actually the top free agent that they brought in, and I believe he was a top guard on the market, so that's a solid pickup for the Tennessee Titans. You had George Wilson, also from the Buffalo Bills, at safety on a 2-year, $4 million deal. The Buffalo Bills cut him, and the Tennessee Titans went out and signed him. Sean Green at running back for the New York Jets was signed to the Tennessee Titans on a 3-year, $10 million deal. Now you got the Thunder and the Lightning in Tennessee with Chris Johnson and Sean Green backing him up. You also had Delanie Walker at tight end, who was formerly of the 49ers on a 4-year, $17.5 million deal. Walker is Jared Cook's replacement, and Walker should be a solid tight end. And then you had Tyron Green, offensive guard of the San Diego Chargers, who was brought in as well. And like I just mentioned, Jared Cook, that's who's out. That is who has made his departure. Jared Cook has signed a 5-year, $35 million deal with the St. Louis Rams. But that's all that's really made their departure. They've brought in a lot more guys than they've lost. I believe the Tennessee Titans are one of the top 5 teams so far in free agency who've won, free agency. I believe Tennessee Titans have made done a solid job bringing in guys at key positions that they've needed. So, with that being said, they still have a few, the top free agents that they have left available on their team are both offensive guard Leroy Harris and offensive guard Deuce Latui. And these guys aren't that solid, to be honest. And, they still have a hole at the other guard position. So is it possible they address it in the draft? Let's take a look. Draft needs, I believe, are offensive guard, tight end, defensive tackle, middle linebacker, cornerback, and safety. And a lot of these positions is because they need to address depth or possibly start competing for the #1 position. So day one, I believe, offensive guard Chance Warmack, offensive guard Jonathan Cooper. These two guys are the top guards at their position, and I believe both of them could be available to the Tennessee Titans at the 10th overall position. It'd be interesting to see if they fill that hole at the other guard spot. Address that interior offensive line, have Chris Johnson be able to run behind a solid offensive line, and be able to protect Jake Locker. So we'll see what they do there. Defensive tackle Star Lotulelei. Only reason I have him here is because there's a chance his draft stock falls due to his heart condition, and I think they could address the defensive tackle position there. Cornerback Desmond Trufant to address the secondary. Their secondary was one of the worst in the league. They gave up a lot of yards to possibly compete for a starting job between Altron Werner and Jason McCourty. I think Trufant is a solid cornerback, and I think there's going to be a cornerback to sneak up in the top 10 to 15 there, and Trufant could be one of those guys. Safety Kenny Vaccaro, they could address the safety position alongside of George Wilson. Griffin didn't do a solid job last year. In fact, he was one of the worst safeties statistically when giving up yards. I don't know how they determine that exactly, but I like Michael Griffin going in to the season last year, but he just didn't do a solid job. I think Kenny Vaccaro could be a prospect. So those are the top 5 prospects I have for the Tennessee Titans on day 1. Day 2, I think they could address defense, defensive tackle or safety. Maybe Quan Short if he's available there at 42, I believe it is for the Tennessee Titans. Quan Short, solid defensive tackle out of Purdue. I really like his game. If he was just a step faster, I think he could be a top 10 draft pick, but we'll see. I mean, those are my notes on the Tennessee Titans. All you Titans fans, let me know what you guys think. Throw your comments down below. That's all I got for you guys. I'm out.